I'm going to give you a scenario here and how I show you the New Orleans Pelicans are the next dynasty of the NBA. And every single one of you, as I just made that comment, either clicked away from this video or think, oh my gosh, this guy's an idiot, this guy's a homer, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But I have facts and statistical proof to show how these New Orleans Pelicans are going to be the next dynasty, and they're exactly like the Warriors of the last dynasty we've had. The dynasty before that, which was LeBron James in Miami and that 4-year run with the Heat. Let's get into it. If I told you that you were going to have two guys who are both going to be top 6, 7, top 8 even, we'll give you the stretch, in the league in scoring, what team would you think I'm thinking about? We'd have to think I'm thinking about the Warriors, right? There's a team that has two guys and even who score more and contribute more to their team even than Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. That would be one Anthony Davis in New Orleans and one DeMarcus Cousins. Let me pull up some stats really quick. DeMarcus Cousins. Now these numbers are ridiculous, by the way. And this is with AD, and I'll tell you something about him in a second. DeMarcus Cousins is averaging 28.7 points, 4th in the league. 13.8 rebounds, 3rd in the league. Anthony Davis, 27.3, which is 6th, and 12.1 rebounds, which is 5th. And both are top 8 in blocks. Those numbers are insane, especially if you consider Anthony Davis is putting up these numbers while missing and in pretty much the entire game in Portland, which before he missed that game in Portland from being injured, he was averaging 37 and 17. Put that into context. And why do I say they match up favorably with another previous dynasty? Well, let's go look at the Miami Heat during LeBron James and Dwayne Wade's run, and let's look specifically at their first full year together. Right? And I understand everyone's going to immediately say, oh, well, Davis and Cousins played with each other last year, and it didn't go over so well. Well, yeah, well, so LeBron and Wade played in the Olympics, and there were some, not chemistry issues, but there was team issues, and in the Olympics during that time, it was basically Kobe and LeBron were by far the two bigger stars, so they got most of the shot. And I think even Melo ended up leading the Olympics and scoring 1 year. So D-Wade and LeBron had experience of playing with each other, and then they got into their first full year in Miami. Davis and Cousins played a little bit last year, and now they have their first full year training camp and all that good stuff. All right, so remember those numbers I just pulled up about Cousins and Davis? Let's pull up some numbers about LeBron and D-Wade. LeBron in his first year, 27.1 points per game, which was 3rd in the league that year, and his 6.2 assists were 13th. Really good numbers. Dwayne Wade that year averaged 22.1 points per game, which would have been good for 7th in the league, except that he played only it was 46 games, I believe. Someone fact check me really quick. 46 games that year because he had some injuries he was dealing with, like D-Wade normally does. And then LeBron was top 5 in steals that year. So what did I just throw at you? Because I know a lot of people, when you just throw a bunch of numbers out, they don't really get the point. Was there any doubt in your mind that Miami was the best team in the league that year and really for that 4-year run? Exclude the fact that they lost to the Spurs. Exclude the fact they lost to the Mavericks. Was there any doubt in your mind that when you went to play the Miami Heat, they were the best team on the court, and they were rocking the 2 best players on the court each night? What are the Pelicans? Tell me, what team are the Pelicans playing? And I get it, their record's at 500, and so you can say, oh, they're not that impressive. But the Heat were 8-9 in their first 17 games back in this year, so that's my early season struggle comparison. What team are the Pelicans playing where Davis and Cousins aren't the 2 best guys on the court? Even when they got blown out in Denver, are you going to tell me Davis and Cousins weren't the 2 best guys on the court? Who's the best guy in Nuggets? Jokic? He's not as good as Cousins. He's not as good as Davis. And I like Jokic. They had lost to the Raptors twice. DeMar DeRozan's not as good as either of them. Kyle Lowry's not as good as either of them. When they step on the court, who's better than them? I'll tell you. LeBron's better. Durant's better. I will give the respect of Steph and Kawhi, even though I think I could make a case that Davis and Cousins are just as good as them. Then who do we have next? James Harden? Yes, I'll give it to James Harden, even though I think James Harden is, even though no one wants to admit it, and I'll talk about this later in the week, a product of his system. Those two are monsters. And they're currently, purely based on their playing ability, not their teams, are the 4th and 5th, or 3rd and 4th best players in the association right now. Maybe 4th and 5th, like I said. I'd give you Harden. And then I think they're better than Curry and Kawhi, but I give Curry and Kawhi respect because they've accomplished more and have more on their resume than those two. So how do we get back here? And I know once again, I'm throwing a bunch of numbers at you, but how do we get back to the parallels of them in Miami? You have your star players, Davis, Cousins, LeBron, Wade. And what made them stars? Well, they could both score. Like I said, LeBron that year was third in scoring, Wade was seventh. This year, Cousins has dropped to fifth, and Davis is sixth. They give you extra stuff. LeBron, obviously, the 6.2 assists. He averaged 6.3 rebounds that year. You know, D-Wade was giving you his defense. Well, Cousins and Davis are both giving you top 5 rebounds. They're both giving you defense in terms of both top 8 in blocks. Anthony Davis is arguably one of the 3 or 4 best defenders in the league. What's the other thing about them? Can anyone guard them? Nope. Could anyone guard LeBron and Wade back then? Nope. I have these dynamic superstars who have learned to play with each other. I have a supporting cast, which doesn't seem like a whole lot. All those years in Miami, everyone's kind of like, well, the bench is kind of so-so. Do you really have enough shooting around them? Well, with the Pelicans, you have shooters, maybe not elite, but you have a Drew Holiday and Etuan Moore. They have Darius Miller. You needed a tough-minded point guard who could run with that team because you couldn't just always defer to LeBron. And Mario Chalmers was that for that team. I think Rondo is an even better version of him, even though he's not a shooter. And the fact of and I will repeat this point, when they are on the court, they are the 2 best players, and they show out like the 2 best players. What was like the signature play of Miami during that run? It was LeBron or Wade getting a rebound, and full court, Tom Brady passed to the other. Have you seen Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins get rebounds and full court Tom Brady pass to each other? Because I have. Let's also look at this. And when you need a LeBron comparison, a D-Wade comparison, they just did things other guys couldn't do, right? Beyond just the pass, right? Like, they could do pick and roll with each other, and it was unguardable. Because D-Wade could get to the basket as well as anyone. Who could compete with him getting to the basket? LeBron, who was also on his team. Who could stop him getting to the basket? Fucking no one. They put you in the situation where it's like, even though it's a simple play, you simply can't defend it. Oh, what are Davis and Cousins doing? How about a pick and roll with your 6'11 power forward and your 6'11 center? Or maybe we can pick and pop with those 2 players because they can both shoot threes. Do you notice when they're on the court, like the Pelicans lineup is Rondo, Holiday, Cunningham, and those 2, they're arguably, you can make a case they're the 2 best shooters on their team. You can make a case they're the 2 best interior scorers on the team, 2 best defenders on the team. They are so dominant and so terrifying in terms of what they're able to do, not just systematically, but from the perspective of their skill set. You can't compete with them. They walk up on the court, and they are the best players on that court. 99%, we'll say 98, because I think that's their actual percentage. 98% of the teams they're going to play, they're going to boast the 2 best players on the court. You get a good coach around them. I think, Alvin Gentry is qualified for that. Same with how Eric Spoelstra was. You get some supporting cast around them. Like I said, Etuan Moore, Ian Clark, Darius Miller. Cunningham's a good defender. Alexis Ajinça, when he comes back, is a good defender, a good big man off the bench. Timely shooting. And enough defense, which they can play, and especially when Rondo is fully healthy again, and Rondo is just as good as anyone currently playing the point guard position, just because how point guard defense has fallen off so tremendously. Defense, timely shooting, decent coach, and the 2 most dominant players on the court any given night. This Pelicans team is going to be a dynasty. I'm guaranteeing it right now. They have the mismatches to deal with the Warriors. They have the mismatches to deal with the Cavaliers. And there is no one who can line up and say, I can guard them. Teams can throw 6'3 guards at Steph Curry. Teams can throw bigger 2 guards at Klay Thompson. They can throw size at Durant. There is no one who matches up with Davis and Cousins. And in terms of those matchups, Davis is the only guy, and yes, he has injury concerns, but so did D-Wade. Like, LeBron won MVP this year because D-Wade was hurt. Davis is the only guy who can guard Durant one-on-one and make him change his shot. Think about that. He is making Kevin Durant, the guy who we talked all NBA Finals about how no one can stop him, it's impossible, yada, 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 and he made him change his shot. Think about it. If you guys saw, if you guys heard, if you guys just noticed anything that you like, please like, comment, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, iTunes. I'm pointing my finger like I'm actually pointing at something here. Nothing's going to show up no matter how long I point at it. Please go subscribe, like, comment, share, tell your friends, throw a brick through someone's window, spread the word, spread the message. I will see you guys on Wednesday.